Hello to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers. I am Rose. It is December 19th at approximately 5 p.m. I'm streaming a little bit later than I normally would today. We can blame Mother Nature for that. I'm here to discuss some horoscopy themes, some witchy things, and some current top of events intermixed with some 20-minute sprints so we can all get some work done. Let me roll the intro so we can get this going and we can start talking about things. And go. So first, real quick, what we do here is I usually do different rants regarding horoscopes, current topic events, witchy stuff, intermixed with 20-minute sprints simply to help us all get work done. Just for anybody who's new here, that's how we roll. I want to say thank you to all of my replay crew people. I appreciate you coming back, watching, getting your horoscopes and upkeep. So I do appreciate that. And then for everybody else, just remember to like and subscribe, put on that notification so that YouTube can remind you when I'm going live. I have started taking off the if you noticed, they were removed. I was having some issues regarding getting into my studio with StreamYard and with the preset scheduled rooms for some reason. So I said, I this time I just said, screw it, created my own, I did it a different way. And I've decided that that's just the way we're going to work it. So for any of you that are used to seeing the live whatever and scheduling for it, just know it might not be there anymore. I'll do my best to try to schedule it on YouTube's end, but as far as StreamYard, I'm tired of fighting with them, and I'm just going to do what makes my life easier. Work smarter, not harder, is what I always say, so I'm going to apply it to StreamYard. So just know some quick announcements for everybody. For the new year that's coming in, Lottie is going to be starting probably within the new year. So that is something to look forward to. We're still trying to get the details of it. Our lives are truthfully, Cora's, and I think speaking of which, hello, Cora, feeding the kids. Our lives are a bit of a shambles and a mess right now. Scattered, it's crazy. Energies are going nuts. Holidays, everybody's feeling overwhelmed. So basically, just expect that Lottie will launch in January. Also, just know that in January, starting the second week of January, I'm going to be trying to stream 3 times a week. And I'm shifting the schedule to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, to save my sanity. I would like to start streaming 3 days a week, but doing back-to-back scheduling is kind of difficult. So, and the reason why it's difficult is for my second reason. I noticed that a lot of you are coming in for the horoscope stuff. And so I want to start giving a better rundown and a better overview for your week regarding horoscopes. And it's a lot easier for me to give you a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type forecast than it is to do the whole week and everything on Wednesday, Thursdays. So just know that's the first change. And then the second change, I'm thinking of moving my streams to a 5 p.m. time slot. And here's why. I think it's easier for those of you on the East Coast to see my videos in the evening, along with the people on the West Coast. And I've noticed that my numbers, the view counts go up in the evening. So I'm just going to, I'm watching the information that YouTube is giving me on the studio side, and it's telling me that a lot of my view counts are in the evening. So YouTube actually suggested that I might want to change my live streaming schedule to an evening schedule. So that is something that I'm actually going to take into consideration. I'm finding that a lot of the YouTube recommendations on the backside for YouTube Studio have been extremely helpful in helping me get more exposure and everything else regarding my channel. So that's just something that they recommended. So I think so just know, starting the second week of the new year, my schedule is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're going to go from 5 to 7. Pacific Standard Time. So for those on the over there on the East Coast, add 3 hours. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. It's just that, like I said, we'll see if it works. If we have to make any changes in the future, it's my channel. We'll do what we need to, but that's where we're going to go. All right. So another quick little update I wanted to give is I mentioned before about Mazda and how I was struggling with Mazda, the dealership, my car, everything else. Well, just so you all know, I am going to give you an update and a follow-up and everything else on that. It's just been a minute because the day that I was supposed to go take care of things, I had a Crohn's attack. For those of you that don't know, it usually takes you about a week to recover from a Crohn's attack, and that usually means that you're not going to venture too far away from a potty. So I have my appointment rescheduled for tomorrow. So next week, I'll be able to give you all an update and a recap on that situation. I do want to thank the young lady in the customer service department. I believe she's the one that I bragged about the first time. Just know, guys, I got names confused. I think I'll clarify tomorrow what the names are, but the young lady that is, I believe, in the actual customer service front area is the one that helped me on the phone yesterday, because yeah. Anyway, that's where I am with that. I'll give you guys a follow-up and an information once that happens, but I did mention past feeds that, yeah. Why did my head just glitch? Wow. Like, I just got bombarded with a bunch of different energies, which is very interesting. So I'm going to have to make note of this time, because I feel like the sun just popped off again. And that's been happening a lot with me recently, where when situations like that happen, I'm finding out that solar flares are popping off. So I'm just going to make note of that again. All right. So one thing I did want to bring up is a little warning. I have been watching my angels. Well, I haven't been watching. My angels have been watching, and then they keyed me into the earthquake situation again. I sent a couple of videos to a couple of my friends, and I got the reaction back that was verifying that maybe I should mention this on my channel. For any of you that live in California or on the West Coast, please, 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 please pay attention to what is going on in regards to the land movement. There's even information now that they're now keeping an eye on all the volcanoes that are in line with the Cascadia event, because they've discovered that there is magma movement within that area. I predicted, something I predicted privately to my clients, and I believe I predicted it when I first started this channel again. I see they're referencing that the Cascadia is going to move, and they talk about how the Cascadia is going to move like this. The problem is what the vision I keep getting, and this is something I've gotten probably for 4 or 5 years now, is that it's not going to be one of these events. It's going to be an event where it shifts like this. The only problem is it's not going to be one of those where the land mass pops out. They're showing me that basically the whole front end of this shelf will fold under. And that is what's going to happen. That's the big one. It is literally going to suck everything underneath. So I usually don't, I always talk about this stuff and always bring it up, but I try not to make too big of a deal about it. However, even the geologists are starting to give out warnings, heads ups. We've already had a 7-point-something earthquake that happened right off the coast of Oregon, and we had a tsunami warning regarding that. And ever since then, I wonder if I can, hold on, let me see real quick, because I did. Okay, so I'm going to share this real quick with all of you, because these are some pictures that I have in regards to what is happening in the earthquake zone. So here's one picture showing what is going on in regards to the earthquake in California. These are all the earthquakes that have currently happened in the last 48 hours, I believe it was. And then let me show you another one. This is the actual seduction zone. And that's the uptick that has happened there. And this is from the earthquakes, the UGS mapping. So this is actually from the earthquake forecasters. So That's not what I wanted to do. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we've been dealing with in regards to the uptick. So please, for all of you that are in that area or on that side of the coast, to please be aware, be prepared. And yeah, there's the hardest part, I think, for me is the fact that if you're there and you're not leaving anytime soon, yeah, they just, I don't know. They keep flashing to me. Okay, if any of you have seen the movie 2012, and the part where they escape out of the LA airport or the Las Vegas airport in the mini airplane, and you can just see everything getting like sucked into that's pretty much what they show me. So anyway, for the rest of you that are on the East Coast, okay, so this is why it's like I don't like really talking about this on live, but because it's such catastrophe ridden. But again, I only believe this so much. However, they are showing me that not everybody is going to get out of this. Like if you think that you're fine because you're on the East Coast, think again. The reverberating tsunamis that will happen they're referencing is actually going to do more damage worldwide than what the earthquake will do to that corner of California. So they've actually shown me, like, they keep repeating, like, the Holy Land will be cleansed in a way that they are shocked about. They're showing me that, like, it's kind of interesting too, because they're like, with the way the water's going to go, like, Japan's going to be fine. It's the coastline of China that's going to be screwed. Like, it's that kind of stuff where they're like, it's almost like just going to kind of swirl around the island nations and just bombard the coastlines. Like I said, we'll have to see what happens. This is something they've been showing me for several years now. You know, the fact that I wouldn't even be mentioning this if even the geologist hadn't started giving alerts regarding the magma movement under the volcanoes in the Cascadia zone. So just be aware, keep your eye on the earthquakes. People in California, I pray, there's only so much praying you can do. I pray for you, but there's an old analogy that I'm going to apply. And this is for everybody who prays. Okay, here's a little story for you. So there's a man that was walking, that every day when he walked to work, he prayed to God to win the lottery. Just every day he would walk to work and please God, can I win the lottery today? Will you let me win the lottery? I could really use winning the lottery today, God, please. And then finally, one day, after years of him praying, the clouds part, the suns come out, the angels sing, and God looks down and goes, can you do me a favor and buy a ticket? So there's only so much you can pray for where action does need to be applied. Okay. And that's just where I'm going to leave that. Anyway, on the next part of my rants is I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I know everybody is super, super focused on, you know, the holidays, Christmas, Yule, the solstice, the new year. But there is something that I wanted to bring up, because when I was looking at our new year, I realized that there's a lot of stuff that's lining up that I've already mentioned in regards to the awakening arc, the shift, all of it. Well, there's another part of the shift that I discovered in my research. New Year's Day, the actual day of New Year's, not only is the moon and the sun both in Capricorn, but the day itself is all about protection, healing, balance, and success. So I thought it was very interesting, because in regards to the fact that the day is a Wednesday, the day is a Capricorn, the color is brown, the soul number or karmic number is meditation. I thought it was very interesting that, considering with the shift of the winter solstice, the fact that it is our new year, which gives multiple levels of energy and power to it. And I thought it was very interesting that the actual day itself was about protection, healing, balance, and success. So for those of you that are interested, I will be doing a ritual on that day on my live stream, where we will start with a letting go, and then we will do a protection and success. And I'll be able, I'll show you how to make your bags, how to bless your eye. I'll do a step-by-step full through with the ritual, and go from there. But just know that if you have been having a rough time so far this year, and you're trying to figure out, like, how can I change my energies? New Year's Day is going to be your day to be able to do something in regards to prayer, ritual, whatever else, to be able to instill the proper energies that as that shift occurs, it's going to help you. And in our horoscope readings today, because we are moving into Capricorn, and technically we are moving into our new solar year, there is a shift in focus that happens completely overall, everybody, all the signs. And this is the kind of shift where I've been talking about, if you haven't been preparing for this, you're not going to have a good time going to the new year, because the energies that are set in this weekend, when the summer solstice hits, is pretty much the precursor. You're loading the catapults for next year, if that makes sense to you. So, but just know horoscopes come in the afternoon or at the end of the stream. So the next thing I wanted to get into is deep breaths. Hold on. I've got to close a couple things out. So I wanted to show off my Book of Shadows again a little bit. Just to give you, because as those of you that know, I do about once a month. Yeah, I do a update on how much work I've done on my Book of Shadows. However, we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. For those of you who don't know, I have a scar. It's not showing up very well. I don't know how to get it to show up. I have a scar on my wrist right here from a surgery that I had when I was 23. I snapped the tendon and had to have it surgically reattached. Lately, in regard with the Crohn's, fibro, flares, emotional stress causing double down issues, the pain of that wrist has actually been waking me up in the middle of the night. So I had to come up with a different way to display my book so that you can see it and I don't hurt myself. So if you'll give me a second, I'm going to set this up real quick, because this thing has not only become extremely thick, but I weighed it and it is now 17 pounds. So this book is now pretty much the weight of a 1-year-old. So holding it up for long periods of time is going to hurt your wrist. So I'm going to set this here. And we are going to bring this here. And then we are going to angle this down just a little bit. So, okay, sorry. Warning to anybody who's watching. I don't want to make you dizzy, but there we go. All right, so we've got our first page. We've got our first and second page. And this is one of those little things. I actually have put something in here. And this is actually something we're going to be studying in the future, but these are the Celtic tree months. And this just happens to be the definition of what a Celtic tree month is. Because I am half Irish, a quarter Italian, and a quarter German, but I actually attune more to my Celtic side, especially with Persephone. Stay close. That's right. I was supposed to do this. So that's what I was supposed to do. Okay, so next page. Obviously, these pages haven't changed that much, but I do have the spells inside for each one. Mostly little things have changed with this. Here is, oh, you can't see it. So that is my ticket that I actually had for Wicked. And I felt it fitting to put it in my Book of Shadows because it's, you know, the movie Wicked. So Here we have, again, we just have little stuff that we've changed and added, including the puffy paint on the candles, which is something I really think is cute. Sorry, it's sideways, but again, just more of the paints and little details. I added information about herbs. These were herbs that I was missing, except for the red rose petals. The fig and the lotus that I was missing out of my other sources, so I added that. I also, I thought I did. No, I started what I was going to put in there. So I even started that. And again, we just have more little details. Oh, there we go. And this is our tarot page. Then more of our spell or makings of spells. So I've added in some of the stuff from the witchy box that we unboxed not too long ago as well. Still haven't added anything in there. Need to. But again, you see a lot of this stuff I was actually accumulated from the boxes and other information. So then we've got our altar basics. We've got a little bit more here. There is one page that got extremely messed up, and I'm rather mad about it. However, we did add in the wand magic. I know this whole page is new. Crystals of protection, how to use the broom, how to use black salt, how to use a fairy ring. These are from the boxes that we did, the WitchCasket boxes and the other protection box. I've added in my types of spells, my unicorns, a couple more spells, a sleep spell, a couple more spells for us. Then we have our wish spell. This is the life board. This has something to do. This is a little bit deeper magic. This is going into the 12 lessons of Merlin, if you've never read that, along with the Dragon's Eye. Both of these lessons can be found in the book, The 12 Lessons of Merlin. I would go into it, but unless you understand the depths, it's not easy to touch on just a light basis. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. Next, I have added the pictures from my Alice in Wonderland book that I love, along with Potion to Rid Nervousness. I thought that was fitting for Miss, Alice in Wonderland. Again, a couple more items from the WitchCasket box, including the divination notes. This is the page I'm mad about. As you can see, it got a little messed up here, but I started in with my chakra information, including the hand movements, the yoga positionings, the stones in which to use. This is actually the chakras in regards to spell working and casting. And then this is is a standard meditation ritual, but both of those got messed up and I don't want to talk about it. So we're going to flip onto here. This is our quick reference guide for quick astral projection or quick spell. What is it? Quick ritual spell making detail chart. That is pretty much what that is. It's the best way to explain it. The Curse of Hecate, how to call a spirit. This is Cinnamon Money spell. Just a couple more spells that we added into here. The next page, we added the maps of dragons. This is a location where when I meditate for my dragon, this is where he comes from down here. That's why I have that here. Dragon protection spell. Again, we have our Ouija board locked away the way it needs to be locked away, but we have our calming bat. This was, if you guys remember in a couple live streams past, I actually made this and showed it off, but here's the actual instructions on how to make it. Here's our symbols. This is our astrological zodiac star chart. And then going in again into a couple more added spells. This again is from the very last WitchCasket box that we did. And in here, I actually have the information for the tears, the ornament glass tear catcher. So we have that in there. All right, and then we have our vision board spell, our footprints in the sand poem. The success jar spell, we got our witch's braid for when you do your hair. This is a magical knot trick that you can do to release things, even in a way that while you're doing your hair. A spell for clarity, a binding spell. I usually use these two together because this is one to break bindings on you, and this is one to put bindings on others. I do not recommend putting bindings on others unless you know what the heck you're doing. Because it can come back at you. Again, we have our WitchCasket stuff, our turnaround spells, our information on the turnaround system. Then we've got a couple more pieces of information regarding crystals and their uses. A couple more spells. These are all regarding scrying, psychic abilities, how to prevent a psychic attack, how to use the mirror and moon as defense. So those are just some basic stuff that I do. We've got some of our blank pages here that I have done some work on. And then we're going to flip through because these are all fully blank. All right, and then another page that we're coming across with, I don't know how well we like that, but that was a test. This is a trial to see if this works because it's nail polish that I was going to throw away, but I thought if maybe I could use it to... you know, I'm one to try to repurpose things, and I don't know how well that works. A couple more blank pages that we're building on. This is actually, if you have paid attention, this is from the back of the Llewellyn calendar. This is just a little shortcut. If you're wondering how I knew the color of the day, what day, sun, moon, other than reading a chart, Llewellyn does give you a cheat sheet that they also apply to their calendar. And yeah, it's a really good quick reference guide if you need it. That is a spare page. Again, we've got another page that we're working on with our caramel apple spell. And then blank pages. And then we get into the back of the book where we have, this is my how to make things better page. Remove spells, candle for employment, the banshee spell, healing spell. These are a couple of descriptions of kinds of witches, baby witches, hereditary witches, stuff like that. I actually have, that's something else I was going to show off when I did horoscopes later, but since we're doing that, I'll show it real quick. I was listening to Back to the Bar podcast because I love the moms. And I heard them talk about not knowing what kinds of witches there are. And so just so you know, that is how many different kinds of witches there are. And some of us are a type where we are actually called an eclectic witch, where we are all of those. Hi. So next thing we've got is my next blank page with my little cubby pocket that I'm going to put stuff into. Here is how to draw the Celtic knot, because the Celtic knot is important to me. So this is how you draw it. This is actually notes from WitchCasket about Samhain, which I'll explain later why I have that in there, but there's a reason why. Drought of the Living Death and how to actually make the item. This I found is also from one of my old school spell books. Spell to achieve balance. This is actually a really good tea, just a normal tea that is really good to drink. And then I've got a couple other spare pages. That will be going there eventually. I've got a couple of pieces that I need to add in, but we've got our four corners, our trees, a couple of just spare informations. This is all about our moon waters, our wax, like the moon, stuff you can do with the moon. Then we've got our underwater page with our kraken and our sirens and all of our, I love these guys. And then we have our basic rituals, basic ideas for rituals for each holiday. And this is just my quick reference sheet for that. And then here we have our seagull and how to make one. Witches at home, rules of a witch for a witch's house. Number one, do not touch anything. I don't know how important that is. So And then we have I had to kind of bring this out and rewrite it here on the side because I noticed that my printout cut it off. But these are the levels of awakening. These are the levels past awakening. So this is to be awakened. And then this is every level that you go up afterwards. Our black salt spell, self-empowerment, our map of the scale of the consciousness. This gives you different levels of consciousness. It goes with this, along with your shadow work and a little bit of details about shadow working. I did a lot of work, guys. Okay, and then we have a little bit more about how to create your star, pentagram, PowerPoint, whatever you want to call it, or element of power as they call it. Here's my Persephone information. And then I have just a couple more spells and symbols for insight. And then we have our ointment of power, our level of feminine archetype, just quick spells, just little spells all over the place. Phases of the sun and moon to represent. These are the ley lines under which, these are my area ley lines, so I know of them. That is obviously I'm a Scorpio. And then we have this picture as one of the pages to end. And then my absolute favorite Alice in Wonderland picture as the final. So that is all the work that I have done on my Book of Shadows since I last updated it with you guys. Oh, and it has gotten thick. It has gotten heavy. So let me move this back up. Hello, everyone. How are you again? So on that note, we're going to dive into a sprint. I'm going to unplug this real quick. And I'm going to plug this in so that I can have we'll see what happens after Christmas, guys. I might be able to, I might need to do monthly payments, but I might be able to figure out how to finance a new computer. So we're not dealing with all of this. And I'm not struggling with having to worry about my computer completely dying at times. So we're going to move this over here. I'm going to come down here. This is going to go here. We're going to pull this up. Add stage. There we go. And I will see you all in 20 minutes. For anybody who's wondering, I am continuing to work on editing of my book. Which, Kibby, thank you for reminding yourself, because you definitely have to grab your stuff that you're going to be working on, huh? Yes, ma'am. All right. So, book paperwork, horoscope stuff going down, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to mute yourself. All right, time's up, y'all. That's the end of that sprint. I want to fix my hair because it's driving me a little bit crazy. I hope some of you got a little bit done. I know I did. I actually got all the spelling errors fixed through the entire thing. I edited all the way, or finished editing, rewriting everything all the way through to the first chapter. Trucking like right along with this work. So, Cora, I was going. Can I have this side, please? Thank you. Screens. I was going to work on more details to my next book, but the kids wanted cake instead. You know what? It is 6 days before Christmas. Let them kids have them cake. Let the kids have the cake. Let them eat cake. And for anybody who is actually curious, did you know that Marie Antoinette was never actually documented of saying, let them eat cake? There is no documentation whatsoever that she ever said that. So I always found that very interesting that everybody says, oh, Marie Antoinette. And I'm like, actually, throughout history, if you look at the details, they really don't know where that came along. Like somebody must have they think it came from a Shakespearean play, but there's actually no proof that Marie Antoinette said anything about let them eat cake. And I always think that's very interesting. So anyway, I like I said, I was able to get a little bit of work done as well. I know that I still think it's funny. People think she said it. I know. And and I got in a little tiff with somebody when that whole Marie Antoinette thing was going around on TikTok, because they were giving that girl, some girl, a lot of like disrespect, because they were like, dude, did you know that was due to? And I was like, you all are attacking this woman based on falsified information, and I hate that. And some guy came at me saying, well, how do you know it wasn't said? And I said, well, how do you know it was said? Like you're attacking this poor girl because you're saying that this person said that. Where's your proof of that? Because now you're attacking me for saying she never said it. And you're like, where's the proof of it? And I'm like, my proof is the fact there's no proof that she ever actually said it. And then he kept going, and I just blocked him because I refuse to beat my head against a wall. There's just some people who literally, and I'm going to go on a little rant here. Sorry for all of you that are listening. Well, this is what we do here. I'm going to go on a little rant here because I'm kind of for and against the TikTok ban, and here's why. I fully believe that there is something going on in regards to a certain government using the algorithm to create and spread hate amongst society and people. When TikTok first started, and this is something I watched myself, when TikTok first started, I had so many people, and I was able to connect with so many people who were on the same path as I was in recovery from major trauma issues. We had this huge group going where I found like Jenna Gray. I found another girl named Jenna. I found, and truthfully, a lot of these people have disappeared, but Alex Shriver, Nick the Chick, there's a choice few that I still follow to this day. However, it turned very quickly. And this is something I witnessed myself, where my algorithm was set up where at first I was getting all these happy TikToks and everything else. And then it just became drama-fueled hatred, where like every TikTok is like, did you see what this person did? And I literally was just like, I actually checked out of TikTok about a year and a half ago. I had a couple thousand followers. I was doing pretty well. But after the whole, just how I watched everything shift and everything changed, I was like, I am out of here. There's something going on in the background where I feel like they're feeding the hate. Like they're purposely creating an algorithm to create and feed hate. So I dropped out pretty quickly. So now that I'm hearing this discussion about the current TikTok ban and how the underlying factor isn't necessarily the fact that China is stealing information, I believe what is actually going on is they're using that programmed to literally turn us against each other and spread hate and discontent and everything else. And I saw it the most with this most recent political event. And I am not surprised. Okay, I said before that TikTok might get banned, but I said I also regards to holding my position, because even I watched a current interview with Trump in regards to the TikTok ban, and he basically said that he can see some of the positive benefits that come from it. However, he wants to deep dive into it because he's got questions. And I was stoked because I was like, yes, he's not just making a decision based on what everybody else is telling him. He's actually going to deep dive this because he's a businessman. He can look at the details and figure out what's really going on. And maybe he can come up with a plan where it can actually be saved. And how crazy, how absolutely crazy would it be if Trump's entities, like his business entities, ended up buying TikTok? And that was something else that hit me. And I was just like, So we'll have to see what happens, because now I kind of pull back my saying that TikTok is going to get banned. I don't think it's, I'm now like, my angels are almost like, we can't actually give an answer now because there's too much free will decision placed in where this is going to go. And we're going to have to sit and wait. So as soon as my angels give me a little bit more information on anything that's going on there, I will let you know. On that note, I just wanted to give you all a quick overview, because I'm going to jump into a sprint here in a second, but give this back. I'm going to do a quick overview of energies just for everybody, because there's a lot that's going on this weekend, not just with the winter solstice, not just with the holidays, not just with the new year, but with the movements and placements of different planetary motions and everything else. So after this sprint, I'll go into the deep dive, but I'm going to give you a quick overview of energy changes, placements, movements, everything else, and go from there. Okay. So for the winter solstice, for many of you that don't understand, got to step away and give baby a bath. Enjoy the bath, little one. Oh, no worries, Cora. I love that. And yeah, I kind of now I want a bath. Now I want to go take a bubble bath. Man, why did you have to put that in my head? Anyway, oh, a nice hot bubble bath. Anyway, I might just have to do that later. This winter solstice is not just a start of the new year on January 1st. But for those of us who practice by the Wiccan calendar, winter solstice is actually our new year. Technically, it's the start of the new solar year. So the sun is currently in Sagittarius, with the moon in Leo, with Mars in Leo, with Mercury in Sagittarius, and poor Venus is sitting over there in Aquarius, just kind of on her own. So for any of you that I've seen, and this has actually been predominant this weekend, I didn't want to bring it up in yesterday's live stream because I didn't, Debbie Downer, but I'm going to bring it up today. This week, the beginning of this week has been a very emotional week. A lot of things have changed, especially for a lot of people on in the YouTubes, in the Law Nerd or LawTube Center. I'm not going to go into it. You can do your research, but it was almost lined up planetarily to have the losses that we incurred this weekend. It is unfortunate. It is horrible, but this is the kind of stuff that we've been I try to stay positive in a lot of my readings, but this is the kind of stuff where I kind of wish that I had been a little bit more serious before I told you just how emotionally sensitive the beginning of this week was going to be. And just to give you all a heads up, even though we have all of these signs in fire signs with the moon, Mars, Mercury, and Sun, all in fire signs, and poor one little Venus sitting over there in the air sign, this is going to change severely this weekend with the sun moving into Capricorn and the moon moving into Virgo. There is going to be a huge inward shift where it's just every energy that like out is in and in is out. Most of the signs have been trying to fix things on the outward level, attend to the details of life, making sure that plans and the overall aspect of life moving forward have been attained. This shift with the sun going into Capricorn is going to make you start focusing internally on personal issues, on the inner child type stuff. So if you are not good with dealing with your inner self, these next couple weeks are going to be very difficult for you. Okay. We're also going to end up with the last quarter moon on the 22nd in conjunction with the moon and Mars, along with the winter solstice. So we have a lot of renewal and grounding energy coming in, and all of it is getting focused, literally like beelined on the inner child. The overall arc that I saw for most signs was literally whatever energies you've been putting outward are going to end up turning inward and doing an inward focus. There's only one sign that I saw, and I believe it was Pisces, where their energies are actually going to shift outwards. I'll double check when we get into it, but there was only one sign, literally one sign that I saw this weekend where your energies are going to cause you to turn outward instead of inward. So on that note, conjunction of Moon and Mars is about assertiveness in emotions and especially in communications. As we go into this weekend with the winter solstice, there's going to be a lot of good time to have this is going to be another weekend that's really good for shadow work. Last week we did a lot of shadow work. If you were doing it, you were doing a lot of shadow work for renewal. This is going to be a lot of deep dive, deep emotional psychic work. Also, Pluto, if you haven't felt it already, Pluto has shifted out of its 10-year reign. That means that those of us that kind of felt held behind or held back, or like there was a rope around our waist for the last 10 years, it is going to shift. You've already probably felt that shift. You've already probably felt the ability to like cut it off or let it go, or it's not holding you back as hard. They're referencing that for a lot of you that feel this is that catapult that we've been referencing that's going to literally launch you in the new year. Wherever you feel the tug and pull, pay attention to it. Those are the areas that you kind of need to tighten up things or add or fix a couple things before we move, because once we launch. Yeah. Wow. Once we're in the new year, we're in the new year and there's no going back. Well, duh. And on that note, as my angels start bringing in complete common sense, that makes me feel like an idiot for saying it. We're going to jump into another sprint. And then after the sprint, we're going to do horoscopes. We're jumping into a sprint real quick, a little short on talking points this time for two reasons. A, that I can feel the tickle coming in my throat. It's winter, guys. It's cold weather. We've got the wind blowing. Yeah, anyway. And second, the horoscopes usually take me an hour to do, and we're already at the 1 hour mark, and I don't want to go over 2 hours on this stream. So that's where we're going to reside with that. So we're going to jump into a sprint, and I will see you all. Well, first I have to do this, huh? There we go. And I'll see you all in 20 minutes. And don't forget to mute yourself. I forgot to do the countdown. Sorry. All right, time is about to be up, but I need to finish this real quick. So give me 1 second. All right. So we're there. Highlight, stay. All right. So I was able to get some work done on that sprint. It looks like I have to break my book down into a couple of different things or a couple different chapters in order to do the editing that I want to do, because I found another program. I'm not going to share it until I'm sure that it's a good program to be using, but I found a new editor program that works better than my Grammarly did. However, it was too big. My, my 300-page book is just too big for it to do all at once. So I had to break it down into pieces. So that's what I spent that sprint doing. It recommended me to break it down into 10 chapter pieces. So that's what I'm doing, or 5 chapter chunks. So that's what I'm doing. Other than that, I'm just putzing right along with that. So we are at that point in our stream where we start and go over the horoscopes for the weekend. This is going to be your weekend forecast. I'm going to switch this out real quick so that I can plug in her, so that a pretty girl doesn't, my beautiful silver girl doesn't crash on me. All right, so I already gave a little overarching forecast prior to that last sprint that we were on. So if you are coming in now and you haven't been listening, go back and listen. For those of you who already listened, this is the deep dive, deep detailed forecast for each sign that I go into, okay? As always, excuse me. Start with our Aries, work our way through. I do Scorpio at the end because I'm a Scorpio, and if I try to do Scorpio halfway through, my angels start coming in with messages and I get discombobulated. It's just easier for me to do it at the end. Again, real quick, just because I want to show it off again. All the different kinds of witches that there are. And I am an eclectic witch, which means I'm kind of all of them. So yeah, fairy witch, Celtic witch, cosmic witch, divination, cottage, coven, death, baby, elemental, hereditary, cosmic, kitchen. Yeah, sea, lunar. Yeah. The first one on the list is what I am, an eclectic witch. All right, so if you're wondering what an eclectic witch is someone who dabbles in all of the different forms of witchcraft, figures out which works for them, and puts together their own Book of Shadows. Hence, pretty much what I do on my entire channel. So, going into the horoscope forecast, starting with Aries, this is going to be for the weekend forecast. This is also because of the fact that it is the solar new year for us Wiccans and for them on the other side. My angels, I noticed that once I looked over this again, that there is a lot of messaging in here that's more of about how to start your new year. I don't feel too bad about saying it because we're so close to the new year, but just know that if I forget to mention that this is weekend's energies, I didn't forget to mention it. It means that these are the kind of energies that are starting now that are going to carry into the new year for you. Okay, starting with Aries, you've had very practical, organized energies to start off the weekend. Okay, so, preference again. This is for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, guys, not for today. I did today's forecast yesterday. Go to yesterday to get today's forecast. This is also why I'm going to switch to Monday, Wednesday, Friday streaming, guys. Okay. So practical and organized energies came into you to start off the weekend, or to start off the weekend. Good energies come in for balancing issues and finding deeper insight to your favorite things to start off Friday. Friday is a good day to start some long-term home projects. If you have that home renovation or that to-do list that you need to get done for the house, this Friday is going to be a good day to start at Aries. The energy for Saturday shifts towards material business and ambitions. This is the energy that's going to shift into the new year. Basically, Aries, you guys are going to be business focused and oriented for next year. This year was all about finding thyself, fixing thyself, bettering thyself. Next year is about about getting the financial and the business side stabilized. They're saying that pride-filled priorities, accomplishments, and responsibilities are in focus for you. So just these are the feelings. These are the feelings that are going to catapult you into the new year with very disciplined, organized energies. So, and when I resonated on this, because I was like, well, why? Like, have Aries been, for the most part, because my grandfather's in Aries, but I forget older generations don't necessarily work with the energies of the world. For younger Aries, what this means is basically this year has been very scattered, very like you've let other things kind of mitigate the directions of things. Next year, it's going to be more about your central focus and how you want to pull and direct things, especially within the business and financial fields for you. Okay. So Taurus, enthusiastic, motivating energies start off the weekend for you. However, they are referencing that there is some underlying frustration energy that will be accompanying this. Okay, so you're super excited and everything, but you can get irritated really easily. Take time to tend to the details of things to not let this bother you. Basically, if you have plans that you need to take, that you're going out this weekend, double, triple, quadruple check those plans, the details, make sure they're set and in place, just so nothing drives you crazy, because the last thing you need is to go out and have the whole night planned and have one little thing goes wrong that derails the whole thing for you. Okay. This weekend, energies do turn towards more influential, confident energies in regards to exposing yourself publicly. Again, philosophical, great time to play, new experiences, dive into something new this weekend, filled with, you're going to have a lot of energies that are pushing towards awakenings, fulfillments, pushing boundaries, starting anew. Basically, your angels are referencing for Tauruses, this is the time to kind of set in motion any of the permanent changes or renewed interests that you want to start or follow through for the new year. Okay. Your self-expression is high and straightforward. So use this energy to your advantage. Tauruses, use this time to be able to put your thumb down on what it is that you want for next year. Okay. Geminis, confident, assertive, intuitive energies have started off the weekend for you, especially in the communication department. Your focus does scatter starting Saturday, so use Friday's energies to kind of tie up any loose ends that you need to, because they're going to reference that you're going to want to turn things into emotional focus to mitigate the energies for this weekend. Emotions turn deeper, more serious, focus on private sector into your personal life, taking care of that inner child. Basically, they're referencing that you have done a great time this whole year balancing out both sides, but they're referencing that the next year is going to make you focus on the little details that you missed for yourself. Yes, the over arc has been great. You've been made for most Geminis that have been going the right direction. You've made the right decisions. You've turned the right corners. However, they're referencing that there might have been a lot of personal and inner child issues that weren't addressed during this time. Use this energy going into the new year as a good time for healing, observing, and focusing on yourself, noticing your reactions, and strategizing for next year. You don't want to be the you don't want to be the instant response system that you used to be. You try to use this year to mitigate how to respond to things. Let's strategize for the year moving forward. Cancers. Cancers, you guys are going to start off the weekend with very irritating and frustrating energies. For Cancers, I just have it's a bombardment of other people's scattered energies that are going to cause you to have such an influx of problems. Okay. Focus on creative ways to problem solve, learn new projects, self-soothe, especially into the evening on Friday. Energies come in on Saturday for unique expression and communications and connections. And this is in the all-around sector. Most of everybody else, when the shift occurs, is in one sector or the other. For Cancers, this shift actually applies to all your sectors. It's a good time to focus on your relationships, both social and personal. It's a good time to figure out, Cancers, how to balance those two things in your life. Good time to find the balance between work and personal, as I just said. It's also a good energies for communications to talk out any problems, get insights from other people, and you never know, revelations might occur just within small conversations. And take the time to learn and understand focus, that sometimes you don't have to be such an emotionally based creature to be able to make decisions and move forward. Leos, money, money, money. Ain't it funny? Because that's what's been on your mind. So they're showing me that finance energy is just swarming all around you. Money, money, money. Again, the dollar signs emojis coming off of you. Unique, creative, imaginative energies have been coming in all week, and they continue into the afternoon of tomorrow. Strong, attractive, and romantic energies is actually your shift on Saturday. Positive energies towards work areas continues, but with a central focus of how to ground yourself for the next year. Success is going to be on the forefront for you next year, Leos. However, also making sure that you have solidified your home environment is also going to be important. Focus turns to organizing, prioritizing your lifestyle for a better health moving forward. So, Leos, this year you bounced between the two, one to the other, then back again. They're referencing that this next year is going to be learning how to not bounce between the two, but actually balance them. And I know that sounds for a lot of Leos, you might be like, well, how do I balance something without bouncing between it? What I mean is you're not going to have to completely shift focus from one to the other next year. It's going to be more of a general, like, okay, well, this is work's taken care of. How's my home life doing? Instead of, oh my God, I got to focus on work. Oh my God, I got to focus on home life. It's going to be more of a smooth glide for you, Leos. Virgos, don't hate me, hate the chart. Okay? Especially you, Cora. Motivating, responsible energies continue, but they're referencing that you need to not allow yourself to focus on the frustrations. For Virgos, because there is so much fire in things, and you poor Virgos are the only ones sitting in the air sign, you guys are kind of getting burned by exhaust, if that makes any sense. This is good time for clear communicative energies with introspectives, especially into your relationships, into the afternoons on Friday, but stick to your morals and your dedication. That's where people respect you. Okay. Don't let them push you over. Got here during Leo. Figures. Your angels were like, she needs to hear this. Okay. Emotions will be highly charged for the next couple days, simply with the placement of things in your chart. Poor Virgo Venus is sitting there, just kind of sitting in the wake as the fire of the air sign with all these fire signs burning off. Okay. So be aware to self-soothe, take time out. Everybody needs a timeout, then let everybody take a timeout. Basically, if we have to do a full family 5-minute timeout, including dad, that might need to be happening this weekend. Focus turns inward for the next little while with a strong pull towards your inner child. You Virgos are also going to have that need to mend any situations that are coming in regarding yourself and your inner child, because if you don't, that is actually what's going to cause issues in the forefront. If you're not taking care of those deep-seated needs, make sure that you are. Cora, for the most part, you're fine on that one. As this focus turns inward, it's going to cause creative, fun-charged, entertaining type energies that infiltrate the regular life. Use this to your advantage, because at the same time, you're still going to be dealing with the difficulties of pro Virgo. And Virgo, you get a shift as well, because the moon ends up on your side by the end of this week, or the end of the weekend. So you have a little bit more ability to ground others around you, even though the energies seem crazy. But that's not until Saturday. So just navigate accordingly. Libras. Energies are overwhelming you, especially in the social and private, like everywhere, just social, private, everywhere. They're just going to completely overwhelm you this weekend. I literally have written down, keep a low profile. Okay. Starting off the week, good energies to rest, reflect, relax, work on creative projects, hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle. As we go into the middle of the weekend, energies seem to turn inwards, which allow you peace, comfort, and stability. So for you Libras, this is what I was talking about, that yeah, the energies do shift inwards, but it's actually a good thing for you. You're going to have a little bit of actual calm and peace come in for once, since the last couple months have been a little crazy for you. They're referencing the strong energies towards improving your home, safety and security, comfort, seeking your bonds, what did I write here? Hold on. Strong energies towards improving the home, safety and security energies to create the needed comfort you're seeking from the erratic energies of the world. Yeah, y'all worded it better. We'll go with that. Natural energies for anchoring oneself, revitalizing, grounding on the mental level. Basically, they're saying they're saying use these next 2 weeks to prep for the new year, because Libras, the amount of energy, the amount of forward motion, the amount, like, you do not do well with Scorpio type energy. And they're showing me that pretty much all next year is Scorpio type energy. So Libras, it is time to prep and prepare yourself for a year that you're probably not going to like all too much. Okay. Yes, this year was bad. I love you, Libras. Okay. Sagittarius. It's not me. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. Sagittarius is, we've got a strong pull towards responsibility and professional goals. And we've already seen this with Sagittarius, with the sun moving out of your sector into Capricorn. You guys are getting that last bit fireball of energy and push towards getting things done. So this is a good energy to problem solve, goal-oriented, logical mind, yet with innovative energies. And that's going to come into the Friday afternoon for you. Trust your instincts, Sagittarius is. Your intuition when making decisions. Don't overanalyze the decisions. This is the time for you, Sagittarius, is because we're shifting out of your sun. That sometimes reminiscing on those details is just going to get you locked in that hamster ball or that endless wheel. Trust your instincts, make the decision, move on. Pride-filled focus energies start off the weekend and shifts as the sun shifts from your sign. Good time to take charge in areas of life that are lacking, especially in the finance sector. Make sure you've got that financial plan set out, Sagittarius, is for the next year. And this is, we'll have to check on this as we go into next year. But I just heard that the reason that they're bringing this in is because Sagittarius is, even though you guys are usually very good at making money, there's something about next year where it's going to be very difficult for you to get a hold on that finances. It's going to seem like every time you get a hold of a dollar, two slips out of reach. Okay. So be aware of that. And be mindful that maybe next year, Sagittarius, is, we got to pull back a little bit on the spending habits and the finances. We'll be able to splurge in 2006 or 26, maybe not so much in 2025. Okay. Strong energies to discover what truly matters and cut out any of the fat in your life, Sagittarius, this weekend. You got that friend that seems to just be the energy sucker in your life. This is going to be the great weekend to have that conversation, to cut them out. Okay. Sagittarius, you really do need to trim the fat before the next year. Your sign is one of those where they were very emphasizing of trimming the fat, getting rid of what's holding you back, and making sure that you have a financial plan. Okay, Capricorns. We've got some good news for you, Capricorns, because you guys have had a really rough couple months. Because the sun is shifting into your sector, things are going to be on your side. Literally, the light is shifting to your side. And I'm so happy about this because I know so many Capricorns, and man, when you guys have a rough time, you guys have a rough time. It's kind of like Scorpios. So Great energies to turn towards self-expression, spontaneity, spiritual growth. The sun, the sun is moving into your sector and you are shining bright. Use this energy to your advantage. Natural intuition and ability to release the stress in your life is going to come in strong this weekend. Let it go. Go running through that flower field, go running through that field of sunflowers. Go dive in that lake you haven't want to. Go dig your feet in the sand. This is the weekend to do it for you, Capricorns. Get out of your own head, get out of your own bubble. I literally have turtle because it's like, this is the weekend for you guys to start poking your heads out of your shells. You don't have to stay protected so much anymore. They're referencing that you need to focus on maturing that inner child that maybe you've been protecting for a little bit too long. And you're going to get a pull towards creating like creation and social focus. Keep energies and keep the energies to things that inspire you and motivate you and that can help you grow on both a intellectual and spiritual level. As the sun is in your sector, Capricorns, and you've had such a dark time this last little while, use it to shine light on areas of your life that you maybe had to put on the back burner for a little while. Okay. And Capricorns, from what I saw of your chart, you guys will hopefully, depending on free will choices, Capricorns are set up to actually have a really good first couple months of the year. So if you are able to pull your motivation in the right direction, you're going to be able to have a great start to New Year. Okay. Aquarius is, the balance is great between home and social and finding value in others to start off this weekend. Aquariuses, you social butterflies, go be social butterflies this Friday. You're going to have the right good energy for you to do so. Emotions are deeper, sensitivities are keener with others. It's a good time to research details and make progress. Aquariuses, you oftentimes like to stick your nose in other people's business to help them fix or solve the problem. Great energies to do so this weekend, okay? Strong energies turn inwards to start this weekend, though, with Capricorn. So the focus is going to be all about self-care, self-healing, self-moderating, self-motivating, all of this weekend. It's okay to retreat from the world every once in a while. It's okay, Aquarius, is to be selfish with your energy every once in a while. You tend to expel too much to other people's just trying to keep up. This is going to be a great weekend. You're going to be able to retreat, harbor away, find that book and just disappear. Reflect, rest, reconnect to yourself. Make sure that your needs are being met just as much as you're meeting those of others. Okay. Pisces, good energy. Okay. So it was Pisces where the shift was different. Yeah. Okay. So Pisces, good energies for compromising and accommodating to others to start off the weekend. Interactions are revealing truths beneath the surface. Don't dwell on this too much. Okay. Use more of the revelations to your advantage instead of sitting there in the moment and being stuck on the situation. Wow, brain fart. Creative communications allow for increased influence in all your areas, professional and personal. You can start taking fresh approaches to new situations and find them fully rewarding. This is they're kind of showing me the same thing as, sometimes the salmon doesn't have to swim up the same stream. Sometimes you can try a new stream and lo and behold, it can be rewarding at the end. There's an energy shift for you that turns, actually, it's an emphasis on priorities in your social sector. So for everybody else, Pisces, the energy goes inward. For you, it actually goes outward. You're humanitarian, your need for helping others. The energy is going to be in the great communication and helping sector for you. It's time to focus on the hopes and dreams of yourself for the New Year's and see how you can help others accomplish theirs as well. Pisces, you often find a lot of renewal and happiness in helping others to succeed and accomplish their goals. This is going to be a good weekend where you can kind of sit down with family and be like, hey, who's got what going how this year and how can I help? Okay. Then we go into, and so Pisces, that's pretty much the difference. Like they're just referencing for Pisces. It's short but sweet. Start focusing on everybody else now. It's time to start fixing situations around you instead of swimming in your own pond, as they say. Scorpios. So kind of the opposite for you than for Pisces. self-focused and detached energies, kind of selfish energies, are going to start off the weekend for you. Make sure that you are minding to other people's needs and wants as much as your own. This does change into creative and intellectual and understanding energies with strong intuition energies, okay, into the evening on Friday. Subtle move towards business and relationships can have a very big payoff at this time. So for Scorpios, if you've been waiting to make that move on that person, if you've been waiting to make that pitch on the deal, if you've been waiting to, whatever that big chess move is that you've been waiting for, you're going to have really good energy on Friday to do so. Energy shifts into the learning and engagement sector for you when Sun shifts into Capricorn. The focus will be on securing and healing any missing areas in your personal environment, including communications and interactions with others. You're going to be able to clearly explain yourself, clearly communicate yourself, and clearly define your needs and your boundaries when it comes to others this weekend. Okay. Learn, share, connect, expand with this weekend's energies, and this is going to help you prep for the new year. Scorpios, they're referencing that a lot of collaboration type energy is strong with you into the new year. A lot of your success, Scorpios, is going to be based on how well you are able to communicate and keep relationships with others to move forward. Use this to your advantage this weekend to solidify any of those relationships that have kind of been wishy-washy or that you've been wanting to solidify, and dismiss any of those that need to be dismissed and get rid of them. You're kind of in the same boat as the other side, where as Libras, where you need to kind of trim the fat, but it's more in the social department. Those who don't understand you, get rid of them. Those who do, keep them around. If they're family, do your best to work with them as you can. All right. And that is the horoscopes for Saturday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of that actually does have to do with what we are going to launch into for the new year. For the most part, I'm going to repeat it again. It's the same thing I'm saying now. If you have been doing your best to be a better person, to take accountability, to right your wrongs, I mean, nobody's perfect, but as long as you've been doing what you can to apologize, make amends, accountability, conversation, accountability, and change was the motto for next year or last year. Next year's wisdom and knowledge, if you're not on the right side of karma, you're going to get a huge kick in the butt. It's not going to be good wisdom, and it's going to be good wisdom and karma you learn, but maybe not necessarily the kind you want. Okay. So just be aware. They're referencing too that you can kind of predict how your next year is going to go by the way that this year ended. If you didn't learn your lessons this year and you feel like these last 3 months, you have just been tripping over yourself to learn lessons, that is how next year is going to be. If you have been doing amazingly, things have been going your way, you've been seeming to solidify choices and decisions in your favor, that is how next year is going to go. Hi, Jen. I just saw that. Sorry. That probably came in a while ago. It did. That came in like a half an hour ago. I usually don't see the comments while I'm doing the horoscope thing, simply because I got angels screaming at me at the same time too. But hello, I am on late tonight. Earlier in the stream, I explained we had some really high winds in our area, and we had electricity because we have a generator, cable, and internet on the other hand. So I was able to post. I did post on my community tab that I was going to be streaming at 5 o'clock today. I didn't know if anybody saw it, but that is what happened. Can't stream with cellular. I'm not going to cost myself an arm and a leg to try to stream on cellular, and I can't stream without Wi-Fi. So that is why I'm on late. There's a second reason. YouTube Studio recommended that a lot of people watch my videos around this time, and it actually suggested to me that I might want to consider streaming at a later time. So I figured, hey, test run, couldn't stream until later anyway. Why not see what happens? We'll go from there. So that's if you know me, I didn't used to be this way. In my 20s and early 30s, I wasn't this way. I'm definitely this way now. From being homeless, I've learned to figure it out, go with the flow, pick your battles, and self-soothe in the process. And that's just kind of what we're doing here. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming in, saying hi, joining me this evening. I hope I was able to give you a little bit of information. Just a real quick recap again for anybody who's here. We're going to be moving the streaming to Monday, Wednesday, Fridays after the second week of the new year. And it probably will be a 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. live stream. We'll see how it works, but we're definitely shifting to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, simply because I want to be able to give you guys a better overview in regards to horoscopes, since that seems to be the most popular on my channel. It's what I love to do. I enjoy writing and working with my book. However, my talents lie in my abilities to help people in regards to horoscopes and everything else. And since that seems to be what's liked, I'm going to intermingle it as much as I can. So thank you all for coming. Please like and subscribe when you can. Replay crew, I love you. Don't worry, guys, if you don't see the notifications for the live streams until the day of. StreamYard's been fighting me. I'm not going to deal with them. I will do I'm just not going to fight things anymore. I'm going to figure out how it works. So just know that my live streams up until the first of the year will remain on Wednesday, Thursdays at 1 o'clock. However, starting the new year, we will change. And on that note, I'm going to send us off with our closing. So for all of you, raise up your glasses. May your angels be strong. May your energies be positive. And may karma be ever in your favor. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.